Today I'm going to be presenting on mastering email. So as a way to talk about email, be able to improve your own skills, but then also to help your students improve using email, especially since writing and English writing has become a lot about email, and that is one of the main forms of communication in today's world. So I wanted to thank Adriana and Anne, who are part of our digital skills team, for helping me put this together. If you find this fascinating and want to learn more, you can always take part in our digital skills program. It is free for everyone, tutors and students. So if you end up having any questions throughout, feel free to ask. Um, But today I'm going to be talking about effective usernames and passwords, how to create a Gmail account, and parts of an email and email etiquette that goes with it. So, email accounts, there are three main email providers. That is Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo Mail. There are some others, and they are all pretty much the same. They all allow you to pick a unique username and password. All allow you to send an email to different people, regardless of the provider, and they allow you to CC or BCC recipients, which we'll talk about what that means. And it can be customized for your personal use, including built-in spam guards and filters to filter out all the unwanted emails. So, when creating an email, it's important to keep in mind a username that fits your intention. So, if you're making a professional email address, then you want to use your own name, not a family name or a nickname. So, for example, if John Smith wants a professional email, he should probably pick John Smith 334, not Smith Family 1984 at gmail.com or Smithy Guy 23 at gmail.com. It's important to have your name, not a nickname or like a family email account if you are using email as a professional email. So you have a good username, but you need a password. So strong passwords are key. What makes a strong password is numbers, uppercase and lowercase letters, symbols, and it should be long, 12 to 16 characters. It shouldn't include your name, your family name, or your username, and it should be unique. You should only be using a password once. Why is this? Well, here's why. It takes a hacker around no time to hack an email that has a password between 4 and 10 characters. Um, and this is just a hacker using brute force. So guessing or using some sort of algorithm to just go cycle through passwords. So you want to use a variety of different characters, numbers, letters, upper and lowercase, and symbols. And you want between 12 and 16 characters for a good password. Because if you see 12 characters using numbers, uppercase and lowercase letters and symbols will take about 226 years to hack, which is great because at that point you should be done using your email. So we have good email. username and a good password. And now we need to make an account. So we've chosen those things. So to make a Google account, it's fairly simple. I have the step-by-step process here in these slides that I will make available. So if you need to make your own account, you can use this video, or if you're helping your student make an account, then you can use these slides yourself. This is particularly important for students that may be using somebody else's email when they start with Literacy Pittsburgh. There are quite a few students, especially ELL students, that use the email of their English speaking relative, their friend that's helping them sign up, or maybe they're using an email that multiple other students are using because they don't speak the language or are not confident in speaking the language themselves. Eventually, they're going to need an email for themselves to get a job and to communicate. So this is a great resource to use. So when you make a free Google account, you'll want to open Google Chrome and then type accounts.google.com. This will take you here where you can sign in. So if you have an account already, then you can sign in using your email. If you don't have an account, then you can sign up using Create Account, which is down here. Then you'll click For Myself. Even if you're helping your student should be there when you're doing this. So you can click For Myself, type in your name, your first and last name, your username that you have chosen, and if your name is taken, so if I were to type in Miranda Pino at gmail.com, that is probably taken. But if it's taken, you can always add numbers that are important to you that you'll remember, or perhaps a period between names. You can add your middle initial in there. There are many different variations. Then you'll think of a password. That password should has to be more 8 letters or more in order to be accepted by Gmail. But 12 to 16 is that sweet spot for passwords. They're going to have you type it in twice, and then you'll click next. They'll ask you to put in your phone number and a recovery email address. So this is optional. So uh, if you need to do that, uh, one second. So if you need to do that, if you want to do that, you can put in a phone number and an email that you use often, or that is for somebody that you know and trust. That way, if you forget your password or you lose your password and you can't reset it, you can use your phone number or recovery email to access your new email. Then they'll ask you for your birth date, the month, the day, and the year, your gender, and then you'll click Next. You'll see that there will be privacy and terms at the top of the screen. You'll need to read and agree to these terms. Then you can scroll to the bottom and click I agree, and then you have an account. So you did it. So we can see here that Lauren made an account and she now has a Google Gmail account. All right, so now that we have an email, we have a good username and a good password, we'll talk about the parts of Gmail that you need to navigate and then parts of the email itself. So when using Gmail, there's a main menu to the left side. It has many different features. So there's Compose, which allows you to start writing a new email. There's Inbox, which is a place for all of your emails. So all of your emails are going to go to your inbox. Even if you read them, they'll stay there until you move them. If you see some emails that are important, you can select the star, and that will mark them and put them in that starred folder so that you can go back to them later. If you get an email at maybe 4:59 p.m. on a Friday and you need to leave by 5, you can opt to snooze an email so that they don't appear in your inbox until you want them to. So you can snooze that and it will move the email to that folder until it is time for it to reappear in your inbox. Your sent emails are copies of the emails that you've sent. So if you emailed Susan asking her to go to happy hour with you on Friday at 5 p.m., but then you forgot what time you asked to meet her to meet you, you can always go back to that sent and take a look so that you don't have to ask, what time did we say? And then your drafts are emails that you haven't sent yet. So if you start writing an email and then something happens and you need to stop and do something else, you can always go back to those drafts. And then the spam folder is where all the unwanted digital communications go, especially the ones that are sent out in bulk, like buy one, get one free jeans at Old Navy. That's probably going to your spam folder. And then last, we have trash, which is a place for deleted emails. So when you delete an email, it goes to your trash, and then it gets deleted after 30 days. So if you delete something and then you realize you actually need it in your inbox again, you can go back as long as it's been within 30 days and move that back to your inbox. All right. So in the middle portion, there are a few things. There's the search bar, which allows you to search for emails using keywords or a person's name. So if somebody emailed you and told you to come in for an interview at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, but you forgot when they asked you and where they asked you to go, you can search using interview as the keyword or the hiring manager's name as the keyword to look through your email to find that email. If you want to delete everything or move everything in your inbox somewhere, then you can use the select all icon, which will select everything so you can do the same thing to everything all at once. Then there are just individual checkboxes, which allow you to select one email or multiple for deletion, to report it as spam, or move it to a different folder. And then, as I mentioned, stars will then light up in yellow when you click it, and then it will be included in that starred folder, which is where you can keep your most important emails that you need to go back to pretty frequently. All right. And then on the right, there is uh, several icons, the first being a help icon. So if you click there, because you don't know where to find something or how to change something in the email in your email account, you can always search for answers to your questions there. The settings, which is the little gear, allows you to customize your inbox. So you may have noticed in the first in the first slide there was a Gmail account with a background of a yellow building. So you can customize your background, the color scheme of your email, how many emails are displayed per page of your inbox, whatever you need, you can make happen through the settings. Then there's the waffle. We use waffle because that's what it looks like. And you use it to access other Google apps. So once you have a Gmail account, you can use Google Docs, uh, Google Meet, um, Google Drive, YouTube, you'll now have an account for YouTube because you have a Gmail that will allow you to look back in what you've watched in your history to watch something again or send it to somebody. So there are lots of things you can do with Google Apps. And then there's your profile, which you can click to sign out of your account. All right. So there are also, s- we're also going to talk about the parts of an email itself, the message. So there are five parts of an email. There's the email address, who you're sending the email to, the subject, which is the little blurb that tells you what the email is about. There's the greeting, which is the greeting. Hello, teacher. The body, which tells me uh, what needs to be said, and then the closing, where you thank the person or uh, give your regard and then sign your name. So the subject, as I said, is the first thing your reader sees. So before they even open the email, they're going to see the subject, which is why it's important for it to be short and to the point. So a potential employer or somebody that you are working with doesn't want to have to guess why you're emailing them if you leave the subject blank. But you also don't want to send the entire body of your email in the subject line because that's way too much for somebody to read. It's really just like a title for your email. So something to keep in mind is KISS. Keep it short and sweet. Not these guys, not that, but keep it short and sweet. So as you can see here, here are some examples. So the subject for the email from Beth is plans for tomorrow. So we can tell that that's important because it's about meeting somebody tomorrow. But we can also see that the email from Walgreens is about buy one picture, get one free. So we can move that to the spam or the trash unless you're interested in buying one picture and getting it free. Um, so the subject tells us what the email is about. That way, for like promotional emails, you can just sort it right into the trash if you are not interested. But it also tells you how important something is, and it uh, allows somebody to mentally prepare for what you're going to be saying in the email. So, some situations. If I had a car problem this morning and couldn't come to class, what would the subject line be? Well, it would probably be car problem missed class, something like that. One of those, both of those, telling the teacher that you missed class, telling them that there's a car problem and that it's not urgent, but it is an explanation. It's common courtesy if you're not going to class to tell the teacher why. Number two, you have a doctor's appointment and you can't come to work on Monday. What are you going to put in the subject line of the email to your boss or HR? It's going to be work absence, doctor's appointment, something short to tell them what what the email is going to be about. Another situation. I am interested in a job as a doctor's receptionist. So I'm sending my resume and application in an email. What would I put as the subject? Job application, receptionist application, telling them that you're sending an application in so that they know to look at the email because there's an application attached. And if there's no subject, they're probably not going to open the email at all. So it's important to put a subject in your email. Situation number four, you lost your jacket at school and you want to ask the front office if they found it. Subject, lost jacket. So after the subject, you write the body of your email. So the body is your message, and it has three parts. It has your greeting, your body, and your closing. So the greeting is where you greet the person that is getting your email. The body is where your message goes. You want to make sure you're asking for or telling someone something. The email should have a purpose. So even if it is, how are you? Or you're emailing a friend or family, I miss you, it should have a purpose or you should be asking somebody for something. So, hello, Abdi is the greeting, but the body is what time do you want to meet at the library to study? Is 2 p.m. okay? So you're telling them what this is about and asking them a question. When should we be meeting? And then you close the email politely with a sign off and your name. Thanks, Laura. So, some common greetings that people use in emails: hello, hi, dear. Dear is considered to be the most formal or professional of these. Some common closings are thanks, thank you, and sincerely. They're very good for professional emails. This is the kind of vocabulary that you might want to work on with your student when talking about email and which words are more polite than others for navigating applying for jobs and things like that. Um, so we've talked about the parts of the email now. So email etiquette is important, right? So if we're looking at the body of the email, it's another chance to show an employer or a potential client or a friend or family members that you're responsible and you're professional. So we're going to look at some sample emails and we're going to talk about why they might be a problem and make an employer think that you might not have good email etiquette. So here's the first one. Hi, teacher. My name is Fred. I don't think I can come to class next week because I need to care for my kids. Thanks, Fred. So what's going on here? There's no punctuation or capitalization. Emails follow the rules of standard English. This is English writing. So if you want to seem professional and appropriate, you want to avoid texting language like LOL, abbreviations like through as THRU, things like that. And you want to put capital letters and correct punctuation. So we saw here there was no capitalization. It was one run-on sentence. There was no separation between the body and the closing. What about this one? Hello, group. The meeting is tomorrow at 4 in the library. Don't forget Samuel. So what's going on here? Everything is capitalized. So you don't want to type in all capital letters. It feels like you're yelling. It's especially for younger people, it is perceived as yelling and taking a stern tone. The person here is also missing a closing, so we could add something above Samuel, like thank you, best, regards, something to close out the email politely. All right, we've got so excited to apply for this job with a lot of exclamation points. Linda. Well, this one has no greeting and it doesn't have a complete closing. There are too many exclamation points as well. So Linda should be sure to address the contact person listed in the job ad, or if there's no one listed, say to whom it may concern, or to the hiring manager at X company. The exclamation points make it seem very unprofessional, and she could close with thank you or thank you for your consideration, Linda. So we've got Hello Green Corp. I want to apply for the job. Here is my application. There's no closing, and the job isn't listed. So this person should be sure to mention the job title they're applying for. So usually companies are hiring for more than one position in more than one field, especially larger companies. So, and they have one hiring manager for everybody. So it's important that you mention the job title, medical receptionist or cleaner or executive assistant, uh, executive partner, whatever you are applying for, you should mention in the email. And then you should have a closing. Tell them who it's from. So here's my application. Thank you for your consideration, Miranda. All right. If anybody has any questions about email etiquette, feel free to put it in the chat or um, ask me, unmute yourself, or you can always email me. I'll have my email at the end. All right. So here are some practice scenarios. And we want to use the subject, the greeting, the body, and then the closing. So, scenario one, you missed class and you want to know what to practice. So, you're emailing me, your teacher. So, a good email would be, "Hello, teacher. I apologize for missing class. Can you tell me what I should prepare for next time? Thank you, Miranda." That is a good example of a subject, a greeting, a body, and a closing. Scenario number two, you want to sign up for a computer class at the library, and the contact is listed as Mr. Brown. What would a good scenario, a good email be? Subject line is computer class, and then the greeting, "Hello, Mr. Brown. I would like to sign up for the computer class at the library. Thank you, Miranda." Scenario three, you want more information about a receptionist job opening, and the contact is listed as Molly Simmons. So your subject would be receptionist job information, receptionist job information request, something like that. "Hello, Miss Simmons. Hello, Molly Simmons. Um, uh, I am interested in more information about the receptionist job opening. I would love to discuss this more. Thank you so much, Miranda." All right. So we have those examples. If you want to go back when you're watching this video, pause and try it out yourself, come up with an email. You can certainly send it to me, and I'm happy to take a look and talk to you about it. All right. So we're gonna talk about one more thing, one more kind of area before we finish up. So that is reply, reply all, CC, and BCC. So that comes to this. Reply and reply all are used if you're talking to more than one person on an email. You'll have the option to send an email to everyone. So that's reply all, or to one person, which is just reply. So you want to reply to only one person when asked for information, or you have a personal question that not everyone needs to see. So an example would be, Jim got a job offer from Bill and Maggie at UPMC. Cassie from HR asked for his hiring paperwork, which includes his social security number. But Bill and Maggie are also on the email that where the request was made. Should Jim reply or reply all? He should reply because he's going to be putting his social security number in there, and other personal information that Bill and Maggie don't need. It's only for Cassie in HR. But Jim got an email from Bill asking to set up a meeting on Wednesday. Maggie is also on the email. Now, should Jim reply or reply all? He could reply all because Maggie will also be attending that meeting. So it's important that everybody knows the availability of Jim. So what do these look like and what's the difference? Reply is just one arrow and it sends a response to just the person who sent the email. A reply all sends it to everyone. So it's very important that if you are replying to an email and you want to only reply to one person, that you do not select reply all. So then there is CC and BCC. So these mean carbon copy. So CC is how you add another person to the chain of email. It's a way of keeping them in the loop without necessitating a response. Line carbon copy, BCC, means that no one else can see who got an email. BCC is appropriate for sending emails to a group and keeping the email addresses private. So when I send emails to all of my tutors all at once, I am sending it with all of the emails listed under BCC so that everybody's information is not shared. But if I'm talking about a meeting for a group of people, then I'm going to CC some people so that everybody can see it and keep people in the loop. So you can see here, this is what it would look like. So add CC, add BCC, and you can put it in there. So thinking about it, some situations where you might want to CC someone is when you're making a meeting and you want, uh, and somebody said that they can't come or they might not be able to come, but they still want the information. You might want to CC them so that they continue to get the emails that are being talked about. Or, for example, with my job, when I get an email from a student and I send information, sometimes I will CC the tutor if it has to do with tutoring, or I'll CC somebody from career services if it's about a job. Um, but BCC I would use when I'm sending an email to multiple people, especially if it's sensitive information um, that are sensitive to uh, this emails are sensitive. So if I'm emailing multiple students who don't know each other, I'm not going to want them to have each other's emails because that's a violation of Literacy Pittsburgh's policies for release of information. So that's when I would use BCC. All right. So that was a very quick overview of using email and setting one up, having a username and password that are appropriate and secure. So if you found this interesting or want to learn more or learn this all at a slower pace, digital skills classes are happening at Literacy Pittsburgh all the time. So you can check out the calendar that the digital skills team has at lpstudent.com. That is the student portal. But tutors are welcome to look at what is happening on the student portal. I have the QR code on the slide, so you can just scan it and go directly there. All of the digital skills classes are open to anyone. They are free, they are in person and online. So whatever is best for you, you can choose an option that suits you. And we have open labs, which are wonderful if you have a specific question, or you have a new device, a new iPad or iPhone, that you're going to be using, or your student is going to be using, and can't quite figure it out, you can go to an open lab and ask your question to an instructor, and they can help you individually with what your situation might be. All right. So if you want more information, want these slides, or you are interested in practicing email with some of those scenarios that I had, my phone number and email is there. If you are interested in the digital skills program and have questions about the classes, or you would like to sign up, you can go to lpstudent.com and sign up there, or you can contact them through their phone number, which is listed, and their email, digitalpgh@literacypittsburgh.org. All right. Thank you so much. Um, thank you so much for coming. And they left. Shoot. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing. Um, yeah, cool.